What is the outlook in the near future for the US-Iran relations from September 2012 to September 2013? It does not look friendly by the terms in this video. There are, however, suggestions of confrontations. All the terms in this matrix are found in Deuteronomy chapter 28. We will first look at a term at a skip of -30 as the main term. The term says, "And Iran's shooting he implored a burden." It can also be read as, "And Iran's shooting implored a superior," where this is only a beginning of a sentence. Soon we will see one such continuation. Iran appears here at its lowest skip in the matrix. The verse within which Iran is found is very ominous to the United States. The verse reads, "The Lord will bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as the eagle swoopeth down, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand." What are we to understand? Will the master of the universe bring Iran upon another nation? Or will the master of the universe bring another nation upon Iran? Does the eagle represent the USA? Long time ago, a golden eagle also was a symbol of Iran. If we extend the Iran term, the longer term reads, "Enough embarrassment. Explain that it is Iran." Verse 49 joins the two terms. They will be shown joined again later. The superior, however, is fed up with embarrassment and wants someone to explain that it is Iran that it is responsible. The next term explains what kind of a nation shall come from far. It is a cruel nation without regard to the old or young. In both term verses, Iran is found sharing one or more letters with the respective verse. We must not take anything for granted. It is easy to see others the way they are. However, we must always strive to live up to the master of the universe's expectations of us. We must pray that we do not appear in his eyes as the cruel nation. We can only hope that we merit his assistance to soar as an eagle. It does, however, look that the matrix is telling us that it is Iran that will attack the USA because 1. More Iranians know English than Americans know any of the Iranian languages. 2. We do not believe that the USA is a cruel nation. We want to believe that the USA cares for its people and it is charitable to other nations. What will the enemy do? An enemy shall strike as he plotted. Note that all the 5 terms that we have seen so far share one or more letters. Also, the kind and magnitude of strike is not defined. This term reads, "From Iran distortion. He will complete a squad. He tracked and set fire." Yes. He possibly refers here to their leader, who possibly established a special military unit to facilitate a firing attack. The term tracked can also be interpreted as intelligence squad to gather information and feed misinformation or distortion. The two major terms here complement one another with the respective words such as shooting and fire. To emphasize attack or attacks, we have the following term: "Enough Iran bereaved me," or "Enough Iran crossed me." The two major terms here complement one another with their respective words such as distortion and crossed me. Here we see the two major terms complement one another with their respective words such as bereaved and fire. Here we see part of the next term in relations to part of the term from Iran. We can see where the two terms are joined together by a common letter mem. The term starts here with against me as an ethnic group, his missiles threatened. Where? A tent and where are the missiles threatening? They threaten the tent or the home, the poor or the innocent. And how? By setting a fire. A confrontation is detailed between two countries and two different ethnic groups. One ethnic group will threaten the other ethnic group with their missiles. We see in term 6, from Iran, etc., that he will complete the setup with a burning fire. We see in term 8, against me as an ethnic group, that here also the missile threaten setting fire. We just saw pairs of terms telling the same thing, setting a fire. I call these two terms two witnesses. In my opinion, it is a fundamental requirement to have 2 or 3 witnesses to verify the truth. See the biblical references on the right. We are now looking at the entire matrix and all the terms that we saw already. Let us examine how many terms have another term telling the same story. Iran is fooling us, setting up fires against us. Enough harassment from Iran. Military fire, missiles fire, and shooting fire. And which country is being blamed? Iran for distortion, Iran for embarrassing, Iran for bereaving, and Iran for shooting. We now have also 2 witnesses that Iran is the nation of fierce countenance. A. The previous terms having negative descriptions about Iran, and B. The sharing of the letter nun by both terms 1 and 4. The next term justifies retaliation against the guilty party. There is a spearhead myth, Mitt Romney. Pay them. It happened. The master of the universe will kill them by you. The 2 terms combine to give one message. The source of distortion is Iran, from where a squad fired. The US, headed by Mitt Romney, has a spearhead. The firing happened, even if there is a distortion. By Mitt's spearhead, they will be paid in kind. The squad will be killed. Iran as a country is spelled out in the codes. Is the other country specified? The matrix now spells out the name of the United States. It portrays the US in a positive light and gives credit to someone responsible for the US values. The new term is the United States principle. The master of the universe saw you behind it. And you will be clarified shortly by sharing a letter with another term. The 3 terms combine to give one message. The source of distortion is Iran, from where a squad fired. The US, headed by Mitt Romney, and this principle has a spearhead. The firing happened, even if there is a distortion. By Mitt's spearhead, they will be paid in kind. The squad will be killed. It is the master of the universe who knows that you are behind the principle, and the master of the universe will use you. But who is you? Just to make sure, the next term and a president is added as sharing a letter to emphasize that it is the United States president. The four terms combine to give one message. You is the president of the USA, as it shares a letter with the USA term. Now all the terms shown here are interrelated by sharing letters, and the Mitt term is also found in the green term number 9. So the US and Iran have a confrontation. Let us zero in on the top triangle to see the countries in conflict. We can see them interlock by sharing the letter R or Resh that is common to both names. At the beginning of the video, we saw in term 3 that Iran is one of the nations that is the subject of the conflict involving Master of the Universe bringing against you a nation from the end of the earth. We can see now, by extending term 6 from Iran distortion, that this long term also shares letters with the term stating that the Master of the Universe will bring a nation against you from far. We see now that Mitt, the USA president, is also involved with a spearhead and Iran, as term 9 indicates. However, we have another verse saying almost the same thing as this verse here. The Lord will bring thee and thy king, whom thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation that thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers. And it also shares letters with the term Iran and the United States. What we can see clearly is that Iran and the USA are involved. However, there is some subtle difference between verse 36 and verse 49. It appears that in verse 36, the Master of the Universe will bring thee unto a nation that you and your fathers did not know. In verse 49, the Master of the Universe will bring a nation against thee from afar. No matter how it plays out, when will the event take place? The critical year appears to be 5773. It overlaps perfectly over the event in question. The term and Hebrew year 5773 for a sign is very prominent at the top of the matrix. Year 5773 corresponds to the time frame from September 17th, 2012 to September 5th, 2013. The year 5773 is statistically very significant in the Bible. It is also likely to be a significant year in the lives that it touches. Such lives to be affected are the USA citizens that are electing a president that year, and naturally the president himself. Just as important is the fact that the extension of the year states that the year will be a sign. The codes are about to elaborate on that issue with another statement on sign and wonder. The new term states, and they shall be by you for a sign and for a wonder. We can see the sharing of the letters of the three terms, and especially important here are both terms telling us that by you there will be a sign and wonder. And then there is something else in regard to Mitt's sign. We already saw in the video Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama for president that from a president, oh, the sign is for Mitt. We keep saying that the year 5773 is the year for a sign, a year of the United States electing Mitt Romney as their president, a sign and wonder, all relating to the USA-Iran relations and the leadership of Mitt Romney. So what is the purpose of this matrix? We know that there is a conflict between the United States and Iran. We are aware of special squads. The real story, however, is not the matrix, but where it is found. The verses of the matrix are a rebuke. If we learn their lessons, there would be no need to learn war. You may pause the video to look at the summary of the terms in this table. You can also look at Annex A to see the definitions of the heading in this table. This is Annex A, which you may pause to look at the definitions. And finally, we have Annex B to describe what our values are all about. The matrix presented several very long terms within 35 rows and 25 columns and contained 945 letters. The terms were not only very long, but most of them shared letters with other terms. Long terms confirm that all the words relate to the same sentence, while sharing letters by one or more terms confirm that the terms are related.